Welcome, subscribers, to our series of video tutorials on Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, and Affinity Publisher. My name is Tony, and I'm thrilled to be your guide on this journey. With the Affinity suite of software, you have powerful tools at your fingertips to create stunning visuals, designs, and publications. But before we dive into the technical aspects of each package, I want to talk about the role that Affinity Inspiration plays in producing these videos. We believe that creativity is not just about mastering tools and techniques, but also about finding inspiration from the world around us. That's why we'll be sharing tips, tricks, and resources to help you stay inspired and motivated throughout your design journey. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced designer, this series has something for everyone. We'll cover everything from the basics of each app to advanced techniques, so you can take your designs to the next level. And with each video, we'll also provide downloadable project files where needed, so you can follow along and practice what you've learned. So please subscribe, because I'm aiming for 1 million subscribers by December. Wow, and by subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos, and you'll also be supporting our channel, so we can continue to produce high-quality content for you. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started on our design journey together. See you there.
Well, here we are, guys, ready to do a photo portfolio. And I guess you can translate that to a portfolio for just about anything you like. But a portfolio document in Affinity Publisher version 2 on the iPad. Now you can see from here I've got two versions. The left one is the US letter one, which is exactly the same as the A4 one. However, there's a slight difference, of course, in that, let me show you the letter one. If we go to letter and have a look at document setup, it's in inches. And the size is 8.5 by 11 inches. That's the trim size. That's the size it'll be once it's cut. But you can see down here, we've got margins of 0.591 inches on inner and outer. The top is 1.575 inches and the bottom 1.063 inches. The bleed is 0.197 inches all the way around. That's all you need to know. Now, if you want to set up a blank document, they're the specifications you use for a US letter in inches. Now, let's close that one and we'll have a look at this one. This is the one that's in, where are we? Document setup. And you'll see this one is in millimeters. You can see that up there. DPI 400. Prefer embedded images. I always prefer embedded. It makes a gigantic file, but let's face it, who's worried about storage these days? Because one of the problems you face, and I've said this 100 times before, if you don't have embedded images, you have them linked. When you transfer that file somewhere, you've got to make sure all the images go with it in the same directory structure, etc. Otherwise, the linking will break, your document will be half empty, or even worse, look really terrible. So the measurements for this one, it's A4, UK for example, A4, European, 21 centimeters, 210 millimeters by 297 millimeters. It's CMYK style. The include margins of 15, 15, 40 and 27. That's there. And the bleed is 5 millimeters all around. Now, you don't have to worry about the first page because it's smart enough to take care of that. Let's just cancel that. And we'll go here and have a look. Pages and masters we're on. So there's our masters. There's a document title up there and page numbers just there. On both pages, you can see that's been set up as the master. There's only one master, Master A. Now it's got 3 columns and the columns are coloured purple. Let me show you this. The guides, column guides are on, and the guide settings, which you can see there, let's see if we see the guides up here. Let's see if we turn guides off and guides on. Column guides are off, column guides are on. And that's just, I've set them as purple. You can see that there. So I can easily see them. And of course it shows up on your document as purple, but it doesn't print. So you don't have to worry about that. Margins are on or off. And you can see them there, 15 millimeters, 40 and 27. So if you set that up correctly in the first place, when you first open your document, take your time with that and all will be well. Because it really messes things up if you get halfway through the document and realise that something is not as it should be. Now, you can see all the bleed lines there. You can see the margins. The photography portfolio is just inside that margin. In fact, it might need just a slight adjustment, but that's all right. Now, what we've got up here in the top again, if I set preview mode on, you can see all those margin lines and bleed lines disappear. Now, if I go up to here again and set preview mode off, back comes the bleed line. So you need it off while you're doing it. You don't want to be in preview mode. So there's all our layers for the first one. There's all our layers for the second one. Now, one of the pages here, let's scroll that up. You can see that image, on this side goes right out to the bleed line, which is where you want it. You don't want any white space around that, so it trims it off along the edge of the white paper. If you try and get that exactly matching the edge of the paper, you'll never do it. You'll always end up with a little white line there. Now, let's have a look at this page. This is the table of contents, and you can see here clearly the columns. The three columns are showing through. On normal print, that won't show, that they don't print. That's just so you can to help you line things up in the document. Now, you've got a table of contents there. One, let me enlarge that a little bit. There we go. About me, street photography, cityscape photography, seascape, and so on. Now, these images are included in this document, which you will find on my website download archive, both on the UK site, robert-chalmers.uk, and also robert-chalmers.com. It's on both places. So if you can't find it in one, have a look in the other. And it will be called Photo Portfolio. Very simple. Now, all those images, they're free. You can have them. I've included them to make it look nice because guess what? Every single one of those images was generated with this program, Midjourney. And you can see these images. I've showed you this before, all these images that somebody's generating. Well, here's my images. Affinity Inspiration, cityscape, wedding photography, people, travel, portraits, all sorts of things there, outdoor photography. So you can generate any sort of image you like. Photo of fashion photography style 8K, the aspect ratio of 1:1, special effects up to 1000, that's as high as it goes, and it's version 5 of Midjourney. Animals, and so on. So you can have the AI generate, look at those, aren't they cute? Possum witch planting flowers, watercolour 8K, and so on. 9:16, so you get nice tall images. Perfect. Okay, now Midjourney's a whole story in itself, and one day I'll tell you how to do it, if you haven't learnt already. Now, table of contents. Over this side, on this page, we've got all that there. which is just like a company name, the logo, if you like. So it doesn't need to make sense at the moment. It's all lorem ipsum and so on. Now, I've gone through with each page. Now, each page is exactly the same in that sense that on the left-hand side, you've got a bit of information. Then you've got the first one. And on here, it has a picture frame. Let me highlight that. And there's your picture frame. Let's go to the Layers panel. There's your picture frame there, which you can turn on or off, or let's say on as it is now, or off as it is now. Now I'll replace all those greys with images. Now in there, in the colour scheme is how you, there we go, the colouring, how you turn off the colouring in there. See, the colouring's gone, and that's a picture frame. But you can leave the colouring on because they make good place markers. And you just replace that with the image you want to put in there. Let's see if I can find one. My trip, my adventure. Let's go find an image. Remember, these are all generated by Mid-Journey. Now there's one. It's probably not the right shape. No. Why did that not work? Never mind. We'll get back to that. Let's undo that. There we go. Now what I've got to do is put a picture frame in there because, quite silly, I've put a grey image in there. So what I want to do is select the picture frame mode, go up to the top there and replace that. Let's see if this works. Otherwise, I've got to go and do them all again. Where's one of the tall ones? I forget which ones were the tall ones, but that one might do it. No, that's not going to do it. So what I've got to do is I've got to go and do those again. Never mind. These are the things that are set to try us. Not to worry. Let's move right along. Now, you can see here people in the street. Oops, I don't want that. You've really got to watch what you're touching. And so on. Lights of Metropolis. And you fill the book with your photographic images. A wooded bridge. Photos, journey to Africa, photos you've taken on the way. And each of those picture frames, which I've got as grey images, you'll have to replace. I'll have to replace with proper picture frames, ones that work when you Now there's the art of portrait, so I can put a huge portrait in there, although it's landscape mode, and so on. Romantic couple, right down to the end page, page 40. Now, I notice with Kindle Direct Publishing, you can produce ebooks now with images, and so can you with Apple Books. So any of these that have images in, you can quite happily upload them to KDP or Apple Books, and possibly all the others too, but I'm not familiar with a lot of the others because, I mean, what you do is find one that works and you continue to use that. And there's the last page. Let's go right back to the start. And there's our start page. Now, if I go down to that page there and enlarge it and highlight that first image, go to the You can see it says picture frame there, and in there is the photo. Now that's a proper picture frame, not one of the grey ones. That one there says picture frame, but it's actually not. That one there is a picture frame. So why is it behaving strangely, I wonder? Not turned on, now it's turned on. Let's see if we can find that image. There it is, there's that image there. And there's the same thing there. Let's just get rid of that. You can see there's a picture frame right on top of that image. Let's get rid of that one too. We don't want useless picture frames in there. There's a picture frame that's not being used. You can see what happens when you get your picture frames mixed up. And that looks to be like there's one down the bottom as well. Okay. I think I got all the, that's not one, that's, okay, all of those are okay. And that one there is on the other page, your name and photography. Let's find those. There it is. And that's all there is on that side. You can see they're quite mixed up there. Oh, must have done these in a hurry. Not to worry, all is good. But I'll fix all this up, and before I upload it, all of those will be fixed. You'll have images in all the spaces and so forth and so on. Well, now it's some time later, and what I've done is populate all the images in this document. Let's have a look down at what we've done. And you can see as I'm going down there, page by page, all of these photographs are generated by Midjourney, the artificial intelligence image generator, which if you haven't heard about it, you soon will, because I've got a feeling it's going to be the death of all of these image repositories, because with a little bit of careful planning, and most of these are just straight out, I've done them off the top of my head, images, you can come up with all sorts of things. So there'll be no real problem with coming up with your own photographs. You won't have to subscribe to any of the download places. You just go to Midjourney and there's just about anything you want. And there we go. Now they're all in this. Let's go right back to the start. There we go. Now, what I'm going to do is make sure I've saved that, because now I'll go and work on putting that in an archive, and I'll put this YouTube video up there, and you can see that it's a straight out A4 document setup, 210 millimeters by 297 millimeters, easily done. Margins and bleed are all there, as I said earlier on in this exercise, and you can do the same with a letter sized version. Now this one is very good, and I hope you can follow along and do a very similar thing yourself. Okay, Thanks for watching this far. I won't take up any more of your time. Please subscribe because I'm trying to aim for 1 million subscribers by December of this year.